Since we've been billed as the dueling poets, we came armed. We don't need guns, we're poets. We came armed with our imaginations, and they're loaded. So here's the instructions. 3 paces, turn, and fire. Ready? 1, 2,
bang!
It wasn't time yet. I said on 3.
Time number 3. Time slips through fingers like floating ghost ooze, rolling in from some 4th dimension. We never see eternity until it's too late, like 1,000 alarm clocks camouflaged in treetops, ringing like waiting snipers. So come on, Mike, hurry up before it's too late.
He shoots me and then he wants me to hurry. Steve, we got time. If we didn't have time, we wouldn't have to worry about running out of it. We got time. We got all kinds of time. We got daytime, nighttime, noontime, supper time, summertime, daylight saving time. We got bake time, break time, grace time, face time, space time, sidereal time. We got rag time, lag time, lunchtime, crunch time, Greenwich Mean Time. We got hard time, downtime, overtime, double time, half time, post time, show time. We got time. We got all kinds of time, but just not time enough.
By the hour. Our hours are honeycomb, honeysuckle, honeydew, holy like angels playing harpsichord. Time is a haiku, a hiccup, a whole story in one brief happening. A lifetime is a hoax, a hysterical joke, a humorous haul of seconds, a hansom cab ride from birth to death. Make mine a slow ride. In fact, put the hansom cab in reverse.
You can actually do that because these are the times of the youth revival movement, when 40 may be the new 20 and 50 the new 30. It would seem that age reduction is the trend. And if 60 is the new 40, 70 is the new 50. You can keep up the reversion to the end. It's the youth revival movement. But to join, you must survive. A lesser age is no improvement unless you are alive. So 70's the new 50, or so we've heard it said. For each age we attain, we claim a younger age instead. We may say 80's the new 60, and 90's the new 70, and 100's the new 80. But dead's the same old dead. Well, thank you. Well, we're not dead yet, but we are older than we've ever been before. And it's been a long time since a little boy named Stevie was sitting on the top of the stairs, eavesdropping on his parents' conversation.
Top of the stairs. Crouched in a shaded area of light at the top of the staircase, the sounds of secrets come drifting up like silent footsteps. When sent to bed, you knew something was happening. Adults using words I couldn't understand. Sometimes I got tired, bored, fearful of getting caught that had me running for the safety of sheets. The fear of punishment, giving way to adventure, a little risk-taking of shadows and squeaky floors, little boy voyager, a child's drama, unfolding in the mysterious moonlight. Little boys are sneaky, but then they grow up to be sneaky big boys. Don't old boys who are less sneaky and more creaky.
I still run across the street like I did when I was a kid. At the other side, my hip scolds me, as it never did when I was a kid. You can be replaced, I admonish my hip, the wrath of modern medicine on my side. Yet, at my side, my hip continues its belly aching, grumbling in undertone as I hobble by a noisy playground where kids run full court back and forth tirelessly like I did when I was a kid. Slowly I limp on, and the lively sounds subside, and through the echoes in my head of games played long ago, I hear my hips piercing reply, "You can be replaced." Well, we and our hips can be replaced, but you can't replace a lost planet, can you, Steve?
No, you can't. Pluto. It wasn't on the front page of the paper. There were no break-in special reports on TV, and no one knew much about it. Nevertheless, it is the end of an era. It appears that several planets have been discovered, all of them as small as remote as Pluto. Thus they, whoever they may be, have decided to pull the plug on poor Pluto. How can something like this happen? Who has the right to take away our Pluto? Would you do this to Jupiter? You bet your ass you wouldn't. And what becomes of my very earnest mother just sold 9 pickles? Will we be left with nothing except some damn dangling participle? This kind of injustice cannot be tolerated. We can't be cut off at Neptune. We have to take back our priceless furthest planet from the sun. It's time to take to the streets, march, protest, revolt. Earthlings everywhere, give us back our Pluto.
Due to NASA funding cuts, we've had to reduce from 9 planets to 8. And the space age has been discontinued. A long time ago, back in the space age, ours was the new generation. The moon was the new America. We were bound for the sky, bound with giant strides to appropriate heaven for mankind's sake. The flag was planted, the claim staked. It was all ours for the taking, and taking was our specialty. The redshift was on, the universe was expanding, and we were expanding with it. Our potential knew no bounds. We had put a man on the moon. And having done the impossible, it was impossible to fathom there might be things we couldn't do. The cosmos was open for business, and the business was ours. Yes, we'd put a man on the moon, and we're certain that soon we would put billboards on Mars. We'd accelerated past the sound barrier and expected that in no time at all we'd be traveling through time at the speed of light. Since then, we have traveled through time, but not so fast. And our time travel has landed us here in this strangely familiar place where we think nostalgically of the infinite potential we used to have back in the space age. From the space age to the Stone Age, rockets are expensive, but rocks are cheap. So we may have to give up the rockets and turn to
throwing rocks at the moon. I'm throwing rocks at the moon, breaking the breeze, stoning the darkness with granite against gravity. I'm throwing rocks at the moon. I don't care if the stars see me. I don't care if they snitch to the hanging crescent. I'm throwing rocks at the moon as anger fills the night with misguided passion. And should one rock reach the moon, then I don't know what I'll do.
I don't know what to do either. I'm just a poet, so what do I know? I'm just a poet, so don't ask me why do we see blue when no blue's in the sky. Birdies don't wallow and piggies don't fly. Mama won't holler and daddy won't cry. I'm just a poet, so don't ask me why. I'm just a poet, so don't ask me how. One may excuse what one cannot allow. We're willing to play, though we're too tired to plow. We can do so much later, and so little now. None can depend upon promise nor vow. I'm just a poet, so don't ask me how. I'm just a poet, so don't ask me why. Life is a question without a reply. To live is to stumble about till we die. I'm just a poet, so don't ask me why.
What's a poet to do? When in doubt, sell out. 4 a.m. commercial. K-Tel presents Steve Delia's greatest hits. That's right. Now you can have all these poems in one incredible package. These are the poems that never made it. The sign of a true artist, obscurity. So forget Ginsberg. He made too much money anyway. These are the poems that kept Delia poor. Yes, all your favorites are here, so obscure we can't even name them. And if you act right now, you'll receive completely free Favorite Pew Losers. 25 of your favorite poets rejected by the Pew Foundation. These are the poems that never made him famous. So fill your home with the voices of dead poets now. To order your collection, call 1-900-STEVE-WHO. That's 1-900-STEVE-WHO. Call today.
I'm going to call today, or maybe tomorrow, or someday. Here's to all the things I'm going to do someday. Sure as time passes, it passes away, and with it pass the likes of me and of you. Life's long enough to say all we're going to do, but not long enough to do all that we say. So here's to all the things I'm going to do someday. It should be easy to get things done. You would think it would be as easy as
think and do. It was never a good thing to have a sense of humor and be a Catholic schoolboy, too. Such was the day Sister Margaret Maria, or Maggie as we affectionately called her, proved this theory to be fact. Sitting next to James, the funniest kid in perhaps the entire school, helped ease the burden of surviving English class with the oldest, meanest, scariest nun to ever emerge from a Catholic nightmare. Take out your think and do book, she commanded in that creepy voice. James opened his book, looked at me with a grin, and said, "Thought and done," and closed it again, which hit me with a fierce pierce of suppressed laughter. Mr. Delhi, as Maggie always mispronounced my name, perhaps you'd like to tell us what is so funny? Nothing, sister, I softly replied. On your feet, boy, as she moved from behind the desk. Fear suddenly shot through me as James muttered, "Oh shit, here she comes." Before I could brace myself for whatever torture God told her to bestow upon me, she threw her ugly, cratered face directly in front of mine. "What is so funny, Delhi?" she screamed. "You said think and do. James said thought and done." The words just spazzed from my mouth. "You find that funny? You find that funny, boy?" And she started slapping both sides of my face with both hands, over and over, as though she was possessed. Curiously, it didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. It probably took all the strength the old bat had, and by the time we had closed our think and do books, the sting had gone, and I was even chuckling to myself, thought and done.
think and do, but if you can't do, just think. It is written, or at least it is said, that if you sin in your heart, that is to say, if you sin in your mind, that thinking about doing something bad is as sinful as doing it. But if we are to feel as guilty about our evil thoughts as we are about our evil deeds, why then should we not get full credit for thinking about doing good deeds? Haven't we all done wonderful things in our hearts? That is to say, in our minds. Why, just yesterday in the morning, I thought about solving world hunger. In the afternoon, I thought about curing cancer. In the evening, I thought about calling a friend. All of these things would have been good to do, and I did essentially do them all yesterday in my heart. That is to say, in my mind. As you can see, yesterday I had such thoughts that would make any man proud. And I haven't even told you yet about the sins. The sins, what would Sister Margaret say? She'd say, you'll go straight to
hell.
Oh, Mr. Dell, hi.
Hell is for everyone, over 100 billion served. And it comes 100 billion ways, reaching all genders, all ages, all walks of life. There is no discrimination in the eyes of hell. Hell is like a bad horror movie where the monster keeps returning. Hell, Hell the sequel, Return of Hell, Revenge of Hell, and the ever-popular Barney in Hell. Hell is such a guarantee it should have stock. It would improve the economy. We could all get rich, go out and celebrate, take our hell and ourselves out to dinner with our friends and their hell, along with some of their friends and their hell, and have one hell of a good time. Maybe that's the key. Laugh at hell, because we sure as hell can't escape it.
Someday you may find yourself before a magnificent gate, and you may think, this gate is so magnificent, it must be the gate to heaven. But you may be mistaken. And you may see a little man standing by the gate, and you may think him to be a gnome or a sprite or maybe even an angel. But you may be mistaken. And the little man may ask you a question, and you may think, all I have to do is to answer this question correctly, and I will be admitted to paradise. But again, you may be mistaken. You may pass, said the greeter who stood at the stile. You may pass, he said, or fail. And he flashed me his jagged smile and waggled his pointy tail. There's only one question in this exam, he said, winking a fiery eye. There's only one question that's worth a damn. The question's simply, why? Now, this exam was quite short for a test, but it sure made a difficult quiz. Yet it came to me faster than I could have guessed, and I answered, because it is. It shocked him to find me quick-witted, but he recovered well. You pass, Satan admitted. Now you can go to hell. I should have realized my fate. Before I took the quiz, I might have recognized the gate and who the keeper is, and known he was bound to outwit me, and seen in his evil face that pass or fail he would admit me to the same ungodly place.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve Delia, Mike Cohen.